this unit, the previous unit we looked at adding and subtracting polynomials. This unit we're going to look at multiplying polynomials, and we're going to notice how it's a little bit different. So in this case, our first unit is all about multiplying and dividing monomials. So one term by one term. So now in this case, first of all, what I want to do is I want to make sure there's a number in front of my variable, so it makes it a little bit easier. So this is negative 1y times 7y. That's what's happening. We're multiplying these terms. Well, when I multiply, all I'm multiplying is I take the coefficients, or the numbers, and I multiply them by each other. So negative 1 times 7. Well, negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the variables and I'm going to multiply them by each other. Now in this case, we have y times y. Well, we've learned that when we have the same number times the same number, let's say 2 times 2, we represent that as 2 squared because we have it twice. If we had 4 times 4, it would be 4 squared. So if it's y times y, this would be y squared. And so I'm just going to bring that up here, combine them because they're being multiplied still. My answer would be negative 7y squared, and that would be my final answer for that one. So now though, when we look at this bottom one here, we have 4x times 2y. Well, in this case, we do have two numbers. So all we're going to do is we're going to multiply the numbers because a number and a number are the same. So 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. But in this case, when I take the variables, I have x times y. Well, and sorry, the dots also mean to multiply. It's a little bit confusing to use the times symbol when we have variable. So x times y, what do we do with that? Well, that's like saying 4 times 2. That just gives you an answer, right? We can't combine that to make it easier. They're not the same letter. We can't put them together. And so all that we finish with is x, y, which is the same thing as saying 8 times x times y, which is what we managed to finish with. However, we take rid of the little dots and we just write things right beside each other, and that would be our final answer for this. When we scroll down to division, we're going to use our exponent laws that we learned before, but we're going to do the same thing we pretty much did with multiplication. We're going to take our numbers, we're going to divide them. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So that's my first one. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I got that part. And then I need to look and I need to combine the letters that are the same variables, because y divided by y is going to be the same thing. And if we remember our exponent laws, let's say I had x to the 4 over x to the 2. If we remember our exponent laws, I was saying x times x times x times x over x times x. And we learned that we can just cancel stuff out because x divided by x is 1. X divided by x is 1, so that's fine. That's just 1 times 1, which is 1. So we were left with x squared on top. And that basically told us we can just subtract the exponents. X, 4 minus 2 is going to give me x squared, which is my answer. So we do need those exponent laws that we learned back in chapter 3 to help us in this unit. Another way to think about it is just canceling out values. So I have one y on top, I have one y on the bottom. They cancel out. Those y's are gone. All I'm left with is an x on top. So my answer would be 4x. Now when I scroll to this next question, I'm going to, again, combine the numbers. Negative 14 divided by negative 2 is positive 7. And then if I notice, I actually only have x's here, which is nice. I have 3 x's on the top and 1 x on the bottom. So I'm going to cancel out the 2 x's, one on top, one on the bottom. I'm still left with 2 x's on top, or x times x, which is x squared. Or x to the 3, this x is to the 1, 3 minus 1 is x to the exponent 2, which is what we got for our answer.